Right on. We're about to pop that top on something brand new.
I'm trying to remember. I was making fun of Evan, actually. We went on our tasty. We went on our epic road trip, and when we got to Sparta, we had to figure out something to do for a half a day because there was a church group coming through or something in the morning, so we had to wait till that was over with because they couldn't put a church group and me in the same area, apparently, or something like that. And so Evan took Jeff and I ice fishing, and I made fun of him for buying one of these in the store because these are a girl's energy drink, so I'm told.
Yeah.
So, Evan, if you're watching, make fun of me.
Well, ice fishing is one of the most beautiful pastimes in the Midwest. Did you get a good exposure to it?
We did not catch a fish.
Well, that's even better, yeah.
However,
did you have like some cracker snacks and cheese and all the fixins?
I don't even think we ate anything because we were still just trying to find a fish.
No fish and no fixins?
We drilled an awful lot of holes.
Did he have electronics? Was he checking?
Yeah. He had a bougie setup, but and like, oh, there's fish. They just weren't feeding at all because we only had so much time to burn. Mm-hmm. And I had my first experience of the ice cracking under your feet. That's an interesting sensation.
That's a beautiful sound. Was it cracking or making ice? Was it going whoop?
No,
cracking?
It was cracking because like a week later, it was all gone. Mm-hmm. And we're walking on 16 to 24 inches of ice, depending on where we're at. Mm-hmm. And literally 7 days later, it was all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it warmed up to like 70 or something right after we left.
Yeah.
We drove through a blizzard, just the tail end of it. The roads were clear and everything on the way there, so they had some gnarly weather.
Yeah, so give people kind of the grand overview. So you set off on the road trip of destiny to get your old man's forward across the U.S.
Yeah, we did a little work to it. Backcountry Upfitters put a lift on it for me and went through all the joints and everything and made sure nothing was, wore out. My buddy Travis went through it mechanically, changed the oil, checked all the fluids, checked the gear fluids, the whole bit, and checked the brakes. Everything was good. And then I had it wrapped with some logos and graphics to kind of display in Nashville area. And set out to drive from here to Bozeman. We got a little late start from what I wanted. I was trying to get up over all the passes before it got dark. Yeah. And you lose an hour going to Bozeman. So we made it to Bozeman fine. It had started snowing and dropped below freezing, so a little cautious on the ride, but everything was fine there. Stayed in a hotel, found a hot tub for me, and there were about 30 kids playing in the pool, so it wasn't exactly the most enjoyable experience. Got up and headed over to John Barclow's to interview Barclow at his house there. He's the head of design for Sitka. He designs the gear. Really cool guy. First time him and I had talked for any kind of extended period of time. I'd talked to him in passing before. Really good dude. Like him a lot. But so we were there till I think about 1:30-ish, and then drove from there to Bismarck, North Dakota. We kept looking at the map because we knew we had to go to Bozeman, and we knew we had to go to Sparta, and then had a day and a half to 2 days to get there, somewhere in that vicinity. And originally I thought we were going to go through South Dakota, but as we were kind of waiting around in the morning to talk to Barclow, I kept looking at stuff and I'm like, there's nothing. I kept trying to find a hotel halfway.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there's nothing in the middle of South Dakota. Now, comment down below on all the towns that I missed that were significant.
Pure. That's the one they're going to say.
Well, but it was either we could drive for 7 hours or 13 hours.
Right.
There was nothing in between of any kind of a major populace to have more than a shady hotel to stay at. So we started looking at alternate routes, and it said it was the same amount of time to go through South Dakota as it would be to go up to North Dakota and go through North Dakota. So we ended up going to Bismarck. And we got to Bismarck at 11:40 p.m., found a Denny's to be open, and had food because we hadn't eaten since, noon or whatnot. Ate at a Denny's, ate as fast as we could, and checked out right at midnight because they were closing at midnight. The first thing they tell you is, hey, we're closing at midnight. I was like, okay, cool. We'll order fast. Won't take me any time to order. Ate our food, stayed in a cheap hotel, and my national sales rep for Graylight texted me and said, good luck tomorrow. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, there's a blizzard going through Minneapolis tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, you hit a
Minneapolis,
good
St.
one.
Paul, and I was like, ooh, shit. And so I looked at Jeff and was like, hey, 5 hours of sleep, you good? He's like, yeah, all right, well, we're out of here at 6. So no matter what we go through, we're doing it in daylight.
Yeah.
Right? So we can get moving.
I'd much rather drive in the daylight.
Yeah, well,
too.
the road was clear, halfway there. So it's like we can get up in the dark and start driving, but we don't want to be going through that blizzard at night if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
And we got super lucky, actually. We by the time we hit Minneapolis, it was all plowed and dry and cleared. The snow had come, and it was a blizzard, but it had dumped, and they got the roads cleared. So literally didn't see a snow drift of significance until 10 minutes before Sparta. So worked out really well, made it with lots of time, had dinner with Evan, and then once again, had a hot tub. I had a good hour in the hot tub that night. That was great. That was a good one. There was nobody there. It was all quiet and it was super toasty. I liked that one. That was nice.
Very good hot tub.
What was that?
It was a very good hot tub.
It was a very good hot tub, largely just because there was nobody in there and it was quiet. And just, catching up on some emails and that kind of thing and just chilling. It was nice. I really appreciate that stuff. And then got up in the morning, went ice fishing, and caught no fish. Evan's a terrible ice fishing guy. And I think we drilled probably, he had a DeWalt drill with an auger on it.
Yeah.
And he's got a little pull behind shanty that you pull up over you, and there's seats in it. It's on a sled. It was a cool little setup. You had electronics and
What was your target species?
I'm trying to remember what I said. I think it was perch, but I can't remember what I said. But he had these little tiny. He hands me this the world's tiniest fishing pole,
yeah.
and I was like, "Are you giving me Dan's fishing pole? What the heck?" And they're just little tiny things. Oh, you're dropping stuff over there. Got a little stretch. But yeah, wasn't for a lack of effort. Let me tell you, I guarantee you we drilled 30, 40 holes through the ice. Just kept moving around, put the thing down, try to find some moving fish, and managed to not catch anything.
Did he tell you should have been here yesterday?
No. No, but he did say the weekend before they were crushing them.
Of course.
And there was
the weekend
we ended
before.
up at a
bite was
spot
on.
that wasn't where he wanted to go. Because where he wanted to go, we couldn't get on the ice. He went up to the edge and it was breaking. So he's like, yeah, it's not safe. We can't go out here. And ended up at a place where the ice is traditionally thicker. And a week later, all the ice everywhere was gone. And it's almost time for the fish to start spawning, actually. He said, I just talked to him the other day. But it was still fun. And it's very peaceful. I get why the allure to ice fishing, especially with the little shelters and whatnot that they got. If it's cold outside, you throw it up over you. If it's warm, you just unzip it, open it up, or just ditch it all together and just sit by the hole there. And
you can fish as warm as you want to be.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking cool, man. I like that setup. That was right. That was awesome. Did a nice factory tour, went through all the stuff, looked at all the things at Matthews, and sat down and interviewed Brad True for probably an hour. Had a good conversation, and then jumped in the truck and drove to Des Moines, and got to Des Moines at 10 o'clock at night. Jumped in a hot tub. Got up in the morning and went to the Iowa Deer Classic at 8 a.m. and assembled blinds till 1 o'clock. Got everything put together and ready to go. 2 towers, 2 blinds, and a trailer. And shook hands and kissed babies from then till Sunday at teared it down, boxed it all back up, threw it in the back of the trailer, took off, and then
Shook babies and kissed hands for that long?
Yeah, most of the time. It was. Now, I will say this, that I was very impressed with a couple of things. One, there are a lot of people, and that's a pretty big event. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be. A ton of people most of the time. There were a couple of other, if you want to call them celebrities there. Crispy was there.
Yeah.
And
there's not really a good word for it, right?
Yeah, I hate
influencers. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't like to use that word.
Yeah.
I'd say if people are standing.
Celebrity is not a bad word.
Yeah, I was going to say if people
but it's a weird word to use.
It does feel odd, but if people are going to stand around and wait to shake your hand and say something to you, then you probably got to go with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Points
Crispy.
of interest, POIs.
Yeah, Crispy was there, and the Bomars were there. And the Bomars were actually one aisle off of where the bathroom was. So a couple of times I walked by just to see if they weren't busy to say hi, because I know Josh. I haven't met Sarah before, but I know Josh. Just to, hey, how's it going? Great stuff, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing.
Shake his baby.
Shake his baby. Yeah, that's something like that. And dude, there was at least 10 people in line the whole time. And I went to the bathroom probably a half a dozen times over that weekend. And most of the time I turned and walked that way just to see if he was free. And I think even at the end of the show, like there was a half hour left in the show, there was still 6 people in line to sign an autograph, shake a hand, that kind of thing. That I don't want to say that shocked me, but it was impressive. And he had a great attitude the whole time. Every time I see him, lots of energy.
That's a special superpower, I think.
It is
to be able to.
It is
stand and engage with people all day.
Yes, for the abuse that guy gets online, he was very personable with people. He was very good with people, and there was a shit ton of people in line.
Well, that's because online, that's their spot to talk.
That's where
those
evil
people aren't
is.
gonna. They're not gonna go meet him in real life and be like, "Hey, you bastard! I know what you did."
Yeah. And there was once or twice because there was food over on the other side. Mm-hmm. When you went to get food, you ended up walking by Be Real, and Chris was in the booth a lot, and there was lines there for him too, but they weren't as big.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the lines to see Bomars were bigger. I don't know why, but they definitely were. And
wait.
but Chris
How much
was.
of it do you think was Sarah versus Josh?
It was Josh. Like Sarah was there,
Yeah.
but frequently it was Josh talking to people and shaking hands, and she was off doing something else. So yeah, it was Josh, which is pretty amazing, really, considering the venom that he gets. But and Chris had sizable lines. Don't get me wrong, he really did. There were a couple times I walked by because I think I went and got food like 3 times. And then Joel and I walked the show floor once just looking at other blinds. Joel is my national sales manager for Greylight. And we walked through to look at stuff just to say, hey, what are other people making? What do you see here? You know, what's the differences? That kind of thing. And even when it wasn't busy, he usually had a couple people in line when I saw him. I don't think anybody really associated me with the company that I was at. I did make an announcement for it, and Saturday from 9:00 till 2:30, I didn't move a foot, and just shook hands with people. After 2:30, it slowed down. I think there was a local basketball game on. I think it's like the divisional college stuff at the Inland the Bighorn Sports Show here in town. Whenever Gonzaga's playing during that thing, it's a ghost town. Like there's nobody there. And I'm pretty sure an Iowa team must have been playing it was like the Big Ten tournament or something. Because there was like a switch that hit. It was like after 2:30, because it was open until 6 that night, 6 or 7. After 2:30, it like cut to a third. And I was still, shaking hands with people, but there wasn't a line anymore. Mm-hmm. And there were lines developed each day, but it wasn't for terribly long. So I definitely had the least amount of line compared to the other guys, for sure, that I knew that were there. And there was I think a hunting personality or two there that I didn't know because I don't follow it.
Yeah.
Right. But in general, yeah. I mean, it was great though. A lot of positive input, a lot of interest in the products that we represent, and it's always really enjoyable to hear people's stories and get to meet them. And I don't get tired of that. The only thing that I got tired of is, dude, my calves felt like rocks by like 3:00 because I couldn't move. Like if I can move, like if I had a stool or something to sit on periodically, I'd probably be fine. I don't get tired of that. Like it's totally fine with me. It doesn't bother me. I'm sure most people it is, but that one doesn't bug me at all. So don't hesitate to come up and say hi to me. It does not bother me at all. I'm happy to hear your story and find out something about each and every fan that feels the need to talk to me.
Yeah. So overall, good experience?
Yeah. Yeah. And then woke up at 6 a.m. To drive to Nashville from there. And I load up the truck. I do all the closing duties for the house. And Dodds is still upstairs. I just figure I'm letting him sleep, right? And I look up. I did my hot tub in the morning and looked up and like, well, his light's on. So he's up. And he just never came downstairs. And I went past like 7 o'clock, and I was like, hey, we're leaving at like 6:37, and he's still in his room. So I go up there and like, hey, you okay? He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, he's like, it's 5:30. I was like, no, it's 7:30. His laptop still said the Spokane time, so he thought it was like 5:30 in the morning. Like, dude, it's light outside. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, I did all the closing duties to the house and everything. I put the garbage out, all that stuff. And I'm like, the car's running. And I'm like, where are you? We got to go. We got a 11 or 12 hour drive here. And drove all the way to to Nashville, stopped in St. Louis, Missouri we chat GPT to First Form had a retail store. And it said they had a 20,000 square foot retail store in their warehouses. I'm like, oh, cool. We'll just stop by there. It's like, we're driving right by. I could use a little bit of an energy drink or something. It's about that time of day. Let's just stop by and look at it and pull in there. And I'm looking around and we're driving around looking for where's the sign that's like clearly the entrance to this place. There was not a sign anywhere that's clearly the entrance. We pull in a park and I'm like, I'm thinking there's not a retail store here, but let's just walk over there. They had, I think Jeff recorded, they had like 4 signs that were exclusive parking spots by the front, and they were all fucking really cool, like head badass or something like that. The names that were on them were really cool. And then it walked up to the front door, and we're looking at it, and it's locked, and it's like, what did it say? It said, if you are here without an appointment, we do not want to do business with you because you're a moron, or something like that. And I'm like, well, this clearly isn't a retail store. And right as we're standing at the door, and a guy was going inside that was wearing First Form apparel, and he started talking to us and kind of explaining, like, well, Chat GPT lies, just so you know, because it said you had a retail thing. That's why we're here. And he's like, oh, there's a Wally's right over there. They have all our stuff. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, appreciate it. And jumped in the truck and drove to a Wally's. Have you ever even heard of Wally's?
No, I don't know about Wally's.
Oh my God. Now there's another chain supposedly, I don't know what it's called, but
Buc-ee's.
it's Texas Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
I think it's a ripoff of Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
I've never been to Buc-ee's, but I think it's a ripoff of
I've
Buc-ee's.
seen just Buc-ee's via social posts and stuff, and Buc-ee's is like a Walmart gas station with everything Buc-ee's, like everything that you could want.
Yeah, I would think that's a very close comparison on Wally's.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many gas pumps ever. Like, oh my God, there's just gas pumps upon gas pumps upon gas pumps.
Does it get your
Go
gas
inside.
station of the drive award?
Oh, hands down. Not even close, dude. So we go inside. The thing's immaculately clean. It's huge. The ceilings are 30 feet high. I'm like, what the heck? And go into the bathroom. Bathrooms are immaculate, gorgeous. Go to the bathroom, go over to the energy drinks wall and find a whole bunch of First Form. So picked up a couple of them. Jeff got a couple of them. And dude, we had a freshly cooked smoked brisket sandwich. They had all kinds of food, freshly cooked. And dude, it might have been one of the best brisket sandwiches I'd ever had at a gas station.
Wow.
Like, holy crap. I'm walking around looking at stuff and I'm like, am I reading that right? This is an actual, and I it's already wrapped up and ready to go, right? And it was like $8. So I'm like, well, it's kind of expensive, but whatever. It's a gas station. Pay your stuff, go outside, open it up, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is literally cut slabs of brisket that thick,
Wow.
multiple slabs on a bun. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is gloriously good. So Wally's, A+, easily nicest gas station of the trip.
You know who's a gas station guy? One of our friends. I'll give you one guess and then I'll tell you.
Gas station guy? Local?
One of our local friends, yeah.
One of our local friends.
Been on the podcast.
Michael.
Michael's a backseat driver guy.
Okay.
Jake Webb.
Oh, he's a gas station guy?
Big gas station guy.
Oh,
he
that makes
plans
sense.
out his gas stations on his road trips.
Oh, that's epic. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's got a local, like, he knows where he wants to stop in Missoula. He's got a gas station there.
Nice. There, I can agree with that because once you've been through a few places and you know which ones are easy to get in and easy to get out and everything's clean, it's like, yeah, I hit that. So once I've gone through a couple, I almost always stop at the same gas stations. I love stopping at truck stops. Easy in, easy out. There's usually better food options. There's usually better drinks, and there's almost always bigger, better bathrooms. So, but I'm also used to pulling a trailer a lot, and it's much easier to go to truck stops with the trailer than regular old gas stations.
So at this point, you're in which part of the U.S.?
Well, eastern, pretty much. I mean, we drove through Missouri, which is where St. Louis is, and we went through 12 states on this drive. And we crossed the Missouri River, the Mississippi River. They're big, huge, like it's pretty breathtaking, the width of the waterways like that. They're just giant, and they're, big cargo ships pushing them up and down there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that last little bit, I think we ended up going through 4 states the last day on it. And I made it to Nashville right before dark. I checked into the hotel and hot tub, the whole bit. Yeah.
Is that you got a favorite hotel down there now?
Well, there's one right next to the archery shop, so it's the Hampton Inn. But supposedly they're going to have a sleep in right next, literally like the border that touches the archery shop. They're supposed to be putting brick on it. They claim they're going to be done May 1st, but I don't know how. Like you're looking at it, you're going, I don't know how you'll have this thing completed by May 1st, but it'll be nice to have that extra one because that'll probably drive the price down a little bit. So, I mean, it's not unreasonable. It's in like 120 a night or something right now, but I think the sleep in's traditionally a little cheaper and it'll be brand new. But that Hampton Inn's only a year or two old too.
So are you and Jeff still friends after the trip?
Better, honestly, I think.
Good, yeah.
I think, although he called in sick the last 2 days, but he did show me 103-degree fever temperature on his.
Yeah, he pulled one of those off the internet, huh?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could be faking it, but yeah, he just didn't sound very good. And I was like, well, don't come over here and get me sick. I got to get on a plane tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd much rather pass on that. But yeah, no, we got along really good. We had lots of good conversations. We didn't listen to a lot. Like it was a lot of talking, like a lot of talking.
My dad can do that. He can go a whole road trip talking the whole way.
Yeah, well, I think Jeff enjoys that too. So, yeah, it was good. So, yeah, we got to know each other quite well, and I think that's going to work out really good.
Yeah.
So then we had a day or so of content in the shop. I kept getting pulled in a bunch of different directions, so he wasn't able to do as much. But like, kind of meet the team and that kind of deal.
How's the shop doing? Is it like well stocked now?
I'd say it's 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 70%, and it's already doing as much as Spokane. So, which I did not expect.
Really?
No. I expected it to happen. I didn't expect it to happen in 70 days. That they're already like rivaling the sales. I'm not talking the online, the face-to-face transactions of a brand new archery shop in a town where there wasn't an archery shop placed before. It wasn't like I bought somebody else's shop. I opened a new one.
Yeah.
When you buy somebody else's shop, you got a clientele base that's used to going there, right? Like nobody's used to going to where we are for archery stuff.
It's almost better though. I mean, you get to establish your own brand, your own stake in the ground from day one. And then you're getting to see a lot of the benefit of a lot of hard work on like your brand over the years, like whether you're doing it on purpose or not.
It was kind of not on purpose.
Yeah, I know a lot of it in the beginning definitely wasn't on purpose.
No.
A lot of people know about you now because of many, many years of time on the internet,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's just a testament that it can be done. But in all fairness, that area was really lacking of a shop by a log. And for a while, like for a distance. Like you go a long ways before you run into a well-stocked archery shop. And in that kind of populace, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah,
like
I know,
normally
it's
you
crazy.
find a good-sized town and there's a couple of them that are good and established and quality, that are like archery-specific shops. Not, we carry 17 different kinds of products and one of them happens to be archery stuff. It's archery only or real exclusively to archery. You don't see it a lot because it's a hard business. It's very labor intensive.
Yeah.
So most guys will avoid it because of that.
Well, that's a good thing, So wheels are turning. And how's the manager? What's the manager's name again?
Matt.
Manager Matt. How's manager Matt doing?
He's doing good. Every time I go down, it gets a lot better. He's not used to having as many employees as he has.
Yeah.
So that part's been a learning experience for him. And he's so used to just doing everything himself that he's learning how to delegate. And each time I go down there, I force him to delegate more things. I was like, you need to stop doing that and give that to him. You need to stop doing that and give that to him. Like pass these things on to the next guy down the line. They get responsibilities and ownership of what they're supposed to be doing, which is good. And you have more available time because you're swimming and you don't know what to do. So, but I'd say it's been a drastic improvement in the past 2 months. Like he's really getting it. He's really getting comfortable. I think by the next 1 or 2 trips down there, he'll be really comfortable. I think
That's awesome.
So. And he's a face that was a staple in that area for a long time. It's kind of interesting how it all shaked out. Like I knew the shop that was down there was struggling, and that there wasn't really an archery shop that stocked anything to speak of. I knew that, and then like 2 months before I was going to go down there, I heard that he quit. That the guy who was running that shop quit and had enough. And so I knew Brandon knew him, so I reached out to Brandon and said, "Hey, can you get a hold of this guy and see where he's at with this?" And met him when I went down there to look for a building, and he seemed really on board. And he told me what all his concerns were and what his struggles were. I was like, "What? So what was wrong, and why did you quit? Like, tell me." And went through the whole gamut of stuff, and it's all the opposite of things that we do. So I was like, "All right, so if all those problems were gone, you'd be happy as a clam?" Like, oh yeah. Like, all right, cool. Can you start in December? He's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll be in touch. Just make sure I got your contact info, and I'll give you a call. And you're not going to ever worry about not having product again. It might take 6 months to a year to get it all running right, but you'll never be without stuff. You'll always have product. You'll always be able to hand a product to a customer when they want it. You don't have to wait, and we'll carry everything. And by the time I left there, I'd secured every line that I cared to secure. There's a couple that I didn't set up, but it was more like I should probably get asked for these things before I start trying to do it. And none of them were exclusive brands that you would have to tie up to make sure you had. Kind of thing.
Well, it's one of the benefits of having all the relationships, right? Like, I'm sure.
Well, they're all different reps, though. So you still have to get an approval from the rep in the area. The rep's got to go, yeah, we need that here. You're not really infringing on anybody else. And part of the reason I put it where I put it, which isn't the most convenient spot for there. It's not. Well, I wanted to prove a couple of things. One, I wanted to make sure I wasn't actually, back east, their territories are small. Like, they'd give you like 20 miles, that sort of thing, right? And so I was like, well, if I put it here, I'm not in anybody's way, right? It's like, nope. Yeah, you're totally fine out there. They don't really believe people will travel, and I wanted to prove to them they would. Because I told Matt and I told Evan like many times, I was like, it won't matter where I put it. It won't. If I have product and I have good staff and I'm open and I'm talking about it, they'll drive. And so far, like, to actually be at that kind of volume already, the only way it's happening is driving. Like, we're far enough away that that the majority of people are going more than 30 minutes to get to me.
Yeah. Well, I would guess in those kind of situations, I would say most people would probably be willing to drive up to 45 minutes. And then there's a certain bubble of people also that would probably be willing to travel further than that.
Well, I looked at it from the standpoint that I'm getting the bow sale. I'm getting the bow sale and the setup and the assembly. If you're only doing that every 3 to 5 years, what's an extra half hour of a drive?
Right.
Just that part. If you want to get arrows at your local little place that's 15 minutes away, or broadheads or something like that, I totally get it. Oh, but by the way, you could buy them from me and I'll ship them to your door and you don't have to leave your house if you don't want to drive.
Which is cool.
And get them more used to that. Like, hey, you'll have them tomorrow.
Yeah.
In your mailbox or on your front porch.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's gone exceptionally better. And I do have to say that my sister jumped in a really big way. She was in an interesting spot with her work that she had time at the same time where I needed time. It's another one of those things that that it just worked out right. Because there was so much that I couldn't do. Like, I didn't have time to do the other things that she's really good at. And so she had some availability, which was awesome. And I'm eternally grateful that she just jumped right in, took control, and I'm doing that. I'll take care of it. What do you need? And did it. And now she's getting to where she's going to lose that ability and have to go back to, what she was doing here next month. But man, I couldn't have done it without her. I really couldn't have. Like, I did probably get in a little over my head time wise, and it would have taken a lot longer. It went really fast and really smooth, largely because of her help.
That's awesome.
So I'm eternally grateful for that. I really am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody busted their ass. Matt worked tirelessly, effortlessly, as much as necessary. It's like, if you're here, I'm here, I'm working. Like, what do we need to do? He busted his ass really hard, did a really good job. And Brandon helped when he could, when he was available. He'd come and do stuff and set stuff up and give input into how things should look. Because, he's a little bit of a princess when it comes to how things are aesthetic. But yeah, we had, I think we had a couple people hired before we even opened the doors. In fact, we probably could have opened 2 to 3 weeks prior as far as letting people in. Like, there was justifiably enough stuff to say, hey, just let them in the door and just make sure everybody knows, hey, we're only like 30% of our inventory. So don't like judge what you see here. But if we have something you need, we'll take your money and give you what you need. And the fire department wouldn't come by. They didn't come by until
I remember that. Yeah.
They didn't come by until January 2nd. And it made sense to me after the fact. Like December 15th and on, everyone's on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting anything done between December 15th and December 30th in most industries.
And dude, I tried so hard to get all right, what can we get our occupancy permit? How do we get our occupancy permit? We need these guys to inspect it before then. And it just didn't work out to where we've got fire extinguishers, we got smoke detectors, we got all the electrical stuff buttoned up, all the plumbing stuff buttoned up, because we had to remove a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
A bunch of the kitchen stuff, because there was a full commercial kitchen in there. Had to yard all that stuff out and get all the gas lines shut off and all that kind of jazz. So, and before they could even look at it, because if they come in and look at it and find a whole bunch of stuff wrong, we'll be back later. And then, okay, how long does that take?
Yeah, so it's better to get it done right the first try.
Better to get it done right the first try.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. A couple key takeaways from the trip. Like, did you see anything that really blew your dick off? It's like, oh, wow, that wasn't the way I thought it would be, or...
The size of the riverways were pretty amazing. It's interesting, like a lot of the stuff when you're driving around when you get down that way, there's like these big berms, and then you're down below the water level, I think is what it is, or close to below the water level, that they've got all the waterways shoved over, and then they've got these big dikes to stop flooding when they happen. That was pretty interesting. I thought after eastern Montana it would be flat as a pancake, and it wasn't. Like there was a ton of up and downs and up and downs and up and downs in the driving all the way through North Dakota. It didn't really get flat until Iowa. The western Minnesota was starting to get pretty flat.
Yeah.
Once we got out of Bismarck and going that direction, then it tapered out pretty
Farmland, pretty good.
But I thought it would have been flatter sooner. Like I assumed once you got over the mountains outside of Bozeman that it would be pretty flat. And dude, there was a ton of down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, up a hill. And I learned that an old 2002 F-150 with a 6-inch lift pulling an enclosed cargo trailer gets like 8 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
When it's windy, it was not good. Like
I was thinking about you getting that lift before you went. And I'm just like, dude.
Well, it's the same size tire.
It's a wind sail.
Well, yes and no, because like it's the same size tire, right? So I'm not rolling more rubber, and it's not a heavier tire. It's got the same footprint. It's got the same amount of tread on the ground. So that wasn't really a big contributor. It was pulling an enclosed cargo trailer and it being really windy. Yeah, like really windy. We got pulling the trailer. I think we got 8, and we stopped every 2 hours for gas.
Damn.
If it got below a half a tank, Jeff was navigating. It was like, find the next gas station. We got to pull over and give me mileage options. And it was like, well, this one's in 30 miles and this one's in 50 miles and this one's in 100 miles. I'm like, you better stop in the 50-mile one. Just let's go to that one. So,
did the people surprise you or impress you in any of the places? Like, oh, they were ornery, or oh, they were friendlier than I expected?
Not particularly, no. But in reality, once we got to places, like everything along the way, it was at night, right? You didn't really see people for the most part.
Yeah.
In Des Moines, everybody seemed really nice.
Yeah.
Like it was really good.
Usually people in the Midwest are really friendly.
The number of people that were like, you need to open a shop here, it's terrible. Like, I just did, and I do not see a need for another one. I didn't know it, but I guess Crispy and the Bomars both have farms like within 30 minutes of where we were. So they're Iowa farm, are just outside of Des Moines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know where that was. I just knew Iowa.
Yeah.
And Iowa's got some sweet rules, like if you're a resident, you can shoot a whole bunch of deer, right?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, but I think there's a ton of states over there like that. Yeah, just
I think
a ton.
Iowa's $3 for its residents.
That's nice. I know Tennessee's $2, and then
a bunch of does.
2 a day for like 5 months. Like does galore, but yeah, you can only shoot $2 a year, I think is what it is. And then I'm trying to remember what Kentucky is, but all those states around there, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, there's a ton of deer hunting. Ton of whitetail hunting.
Yeah. And good whitetail hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah. Whitetail's fun. It's like a chess game.
Yeah. Hopefully between my my ground blind, tower blind company and my online store and my shops, I'll meet new friends that have land in all these places and start hunting in like 4, 5, 6 states over there.
Yeah.
I think I already picked up one for Tennessee, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Some connections.
Yeah, it's funny. My whole thought of this originally was like I was going to buy like 200 acres somewhere where I could hunt deer and pigs year round that you could legally feed. So you could ensure that there would be pigs all the time. So if you just want to go out and shoot some pigs on a weekend in March, let's say you're bored, like you go, go hunting, that kind of thing. So you could hunt year round and then ship out of there. And I ended up, doing a full pro shop in Nashville and shipping out of there, which was not what I expected to do. But it's like I said, it's responded so well. It's amazingly great. I cannot complain. And then I'm meeting all kinds of people. Like I got to find him. Hopefully he's listening. A guy came in that was from Kentucky that showed me a picture of like a 170 buck he shot on opening day on his farm up there. And so you can come hunting if you want. I'll take you out. And I can't find his card. Please, if you're listening, DM me at Podium Archer on Instagram. I want to go hunting with you. I can't find your card, and I didn't save it. Like I didn't save it in my phone or anything because like that's sweet. Like he's got a whole bunch of farmland and towers and whatnot, and it'd be sweet to have it be easy. and not put a whole bunch of time, effort, and energy into it. I already got too much time, effort, and energy and everything else.
Yeah.
But that would be sweet. And I'm going to be there enough that it's like, well, I'll just plan hunting around when I go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, within Nashville, you can go a couple hours and hit a couple different states in a lot of directions. So,
Yeah.
you could really hit the whitetail trail.
Yeah, Arkansas isn't very far away. I mean, Missouri is pretty
a really
close.
Good state.
Now, granted, it just depends on what part of Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Kentucky's close. I can get to Georgia pretty easily. Well, that's part of why I decided to put it there.
Yeah, it's very central to
It's like you draw a 6-hour driving circle, and it's half of the bow hunting population of this country.
I think non-residents have to draw in Iowa, is my belief.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which
I know Dudley's got a farm in Iowa too. I wonder
that's why they're all there. They're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder how far away he is from it.
Well, did you get a chance to follow the Las Vegas shoot this year?
I saw the shoot off.
Yeah.
It took a little while to get it loaded, so I missed it. I felt jinxy to Michael because I turned it on in his last round. Mm-hmm. Like I finally got it up, and Dodds was messing with it on his phone trying to get up. We were trying to get it on the TV and couldn't figure out how to get it on the TV because everybody else had left. Like we took Jared to the airport in Des Moines that evening, and Joel and his wife drove. Yeah. So they grabbed the equipment and drove back where they were coming from. And we grabbed some food, sat down and ate, and then got back to the house. And it was just in time for like when it was starting, but it took us a while to get it to come up. And then once we finally got it up, I think they were down to like 12 left or something like that.
And before we get too much into Vegas, we should just say what a great job for Michael to go through the weekend and make it.
I was so proud of that kid.
Yeah, make it through the weekend.
I shouldn't call him a kid. He's an adult, but
yeah, he's a kid.
He's still a kid to me.
Is he drinking beer yet? No.
Yes, he has. He sent me a picture with you.
Whoa. Allegedly, he's not 21 yet. Young Michael, he's not 21 yet.
Okay, well, it's a good thing I saved that picture then.
Yeah. So, Michael made it through the weekend clean and ended up finishing 8th overall. So, like, what a beautiful job and experience for him.
Yeah, to be his age and his experiences, which it's Bodie's not fair to compare, right? Because Bodie's just an anomaly that's just so much better than everybody. But to be his age, this was only his second time in Vegas.
Yeah.
And making it to 8th is insane. So he's going to shoot several ASAs this year, and one of my guys in the shop goes to like 4 of them. And so I got them to connect and get together, and they're going to share space and whatnot. Great. So Michael's got somebody to go with because he kept asking me about him. I kept looking at the dates. I'm like, I got to be in San Diego that weekend. Oh, crap, I'm in PA that weekend. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, as I was going to try to go with him. I'd still like to get to at least one and see him, but my schedule just keeps getting worse.
Yeah. So what just an amazing accomplishment for Michael to do that.
Yeah.
And as a young man, there's almost a sweet spot for like age where if you're young enough, you're like too dumb to know better. You know what I mean? And then as you get older, you might worry even more, So there's pros and cons to all age classes, but yeah, he made it through the weekend, and bottom line is he did it, which is amazing.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Michael at all.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he'll get. Yeah. I don't think 5 years from now he'll start to get nervous. Like he's always calm in the moment. Like nothing seems to bother him very much. He's always really upbeat. He's never like super hyper. Like he's just mellow, chill, comfortable. He's got the right mindset.
And he's done a lot of personal work too to just like help himself work through those moments. Like he's definitely put a lot of thought and effort into that. You know?
Yeah, no, he'll be a professional archer, period. He'll be shooting for somebody on staff for sure and traveling around the country and going to big shoots and trying to win money. He will.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps trying. If he gives up on it, then he won't, but he's got the skills to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And like we might have said before, I mean, you see a lot of people that go to that just they're so capable, but they don't make it through the weekend because of whatever you want to say, the layer of pressure or whatever. But he did, which is amazing.
Yeah, which he'd have been there last year if he dropped the point on his last day.
Yeah,
it's like I was like checking in with him, like gosh, dang it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really thought he was going to do it last year. Which what an accomplishment your first time to make it into that, but even your second time to make it into that. There's guys that shoot their whole lives really well that haven't done that.
Yeah.
That are real serious about it. So, 2 times in, it's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Michael's an impressive man. He really is, and he'll do great things. I'm really, like I said, I'm really proud of him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an amazing weekend for him. And then, so Michael makes it into 8th. And if it's your first time hearing about like Las Vegas is is it the world's largest indoor archery shoot? Or very close.
It is. I'm almost positive because there's like 5,000 participants or something like that.
So
in all categories.
It's an indoor archery event held at 20 yards. And for the winners, the people who make it to the end of the open divisions, they shoot the 10 ring.
Right.
Is it 60 times in a row?
It's 3 days.
3 days.
90.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shoot 900 to get in.
Yeah, 900. So it's 3 days hitting the 10 ring, which is about maybe 1.5 inch diameter, something like that, for rough size of a 50-cent piece, maybe.
Smaller.
Maybe a little bigger.
It's smaller.
Smaller?
Yeah, it's smaller. It's a little bigger than a quarter, I think, if I remember right.
And then most of the top men and females are hitting the X most of the time. And the X is about the size of a dime or something like that.
I think it's slightly under a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 10 is slightly bigger than a quarter, and the X is slightly under a dime.
Yeah.
Or right at a dime size.
And then all the people that get through this, they're like, hey, they did it, they're into the shoot-off.
Mm-hmm.
And the shoot-off, they all stand up on a line, and they start with, is it 2 ends of shooting the 10?
I didn't see the first 2. I thought that's what it was.
It's 2 ends, yeah.
I thought that's what it was, but I didn't see that part, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. But anyway, it's elimination style shoot off. Everyone's on the line. Everyone shoots. And then they go down and your arrow's either in or it's out.
Right.
And those rounds continue to advance until there's a final winner.
Didn't they start with 22 this year?
Yeah, I think it was 22.
Yeah, it was either 21 or 22.
Yeah, in the men's division. And women, only one made it, right? There was one winner.
I didn't see the women's. I don't know.
It was one winner who shot a 900, and then 8 gals shot for second place.
Gotcha.
In the shoot-off.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And one of our local gals, Geisbuehler, like the hardest name probably ever to pronounce or spell.
Yep.
I think she shot 898. Isabel, I think it was 898. She was 600 through the first 2 days, and then she had an 8 on the final day, I believe.
Oh.
So she didn't get into the shoot-off. And those girls are very capable, too. It wouldn't surprise me if you've seen them on that final stage in the near future, because they're young. They're basically Michael's age.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Like, there's this whole class of kids out of Washington, Idaho that they're really incredible shooters.
Yep, we're pretty fortunate. The quality of archers that are up here, and don't forget Bodie's up here too.
Yeah,
right. So I mean, there's some incredible stuff, and there's no mystery that they're all working with Joel.
Yeah,
right. Like that's got a lot to do with it.
What was different this year is as they're progressing through the shoot-off, Bruce, is it Bruce? Is that his name? The guy that does the announcing?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, the main announcer at Vegas was like, okay, you guys, there's a special rule there's a special rule that we can go to inside out X's. So he kind of gives them a preview.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, okay, we're going to go to inside out X's after 2 rounds. So this was the first year they went to inside out X's to help them get through the shoot-off.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a new record.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they went, was it 3 ends through it to finish that?
I think so.
And they had to go inside out 3 times.
Yeah.
And I remember Michael was texting me, and who was the guy who switched to tiny arrows?
I think it was Matthias.
Matthias, yeah. He goes, oh, Matthias just pulled out his X10s. This is over. And he was out like that. And I almost wrote it back and was like, somebody's closer.
What I was curious about was how many competitors were aware that rule was in there, and how many of them were prepared for that? Because they
have to be.
Man, but I would figure that if they were ready to go inside out, most people would go to skinnier arrows.
Well, the problem is
and I wanted to get your opinion on this.
It's not. I mean, you could.
If you're a competitor,
supposedly
in those shoes, do you go skinny or not? And my thought is, if most of them knew about that and they thought it was a real possibility, I thought most of them would go skinny, and they would know exactly how far they would have to dial.
Well, they'd have to know because one of them was shooting 23s, the whole time, right?
But I think he was the whole way 23s.
He was the whole way 23s, and that was probably his strategy. Is I can get there I can get there, but when it comes down to inside out, I got a smaller arrow.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't just these 23s really shoot better than my 27s. I guarantee you. No, it's like
that makes some sense.
I can get into where I need to be and then have a smaller
Especially
arrow.
in that format, because if you're confident X shooter, maybe a miss is in the 10.
Yeah, and Bodie was shooting 27s.
Yeah.
And won that against somebody shooting 23s, if I remember right, whoever it was.
I think the other guy was shooting 27s too.
One of them was shooting 23s.
There was a 23 guy.
Yeah, I'm positive.
But anyway, like you mentioned, as it all shook out, Bodie Turner ended up being the last man standing at Las Vegas.
And I've never seen him react emotionally like he did. Like he'd miss one and you just see him go, right?
It seemed like there was a lot more emotion on the line than normal.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And it wasn't like mad, it was just reacting.
Yeah.
Like I normally don't remember seeing him do that.
Like his emotions were more on his sleeve.
Like he was wearing them
Yeah.
more. Like it was almost like they didn't bother him or they didn't affect him, but he was just letting them out.
And even when he shot like an inside out X in the lead up, like he had a reaction like, oh my God, I just, I burned an inside out X when I know I'm going to need them in 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of eye rolled or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. I didn't mind the inside out thing. I thought that was a fun way to keep the shoot off going. Like, because potentially those guys just pound X's and it takes 20 ends.
Yeah, last year it was like that. I guarantee you they changed that.
Rumble, I think they went 20 ends in X's.
Yeah, well, I think they changed that in Vegas last year after that because it took 20 something rounds to finally eliminate somebody. They shot like 2. I remember I was sitting in the bar with Pete Crawford because you could see it from the bar. When you went to look for like a place to sit, it was terrible. I'm like, well, I can see it right here, and Pete's in there. I'll just hang out with Pete.
Yeah.
And watch the whole thing, and it was 2 rounds of Vegas before somebody won.
Yeah,
it's like, Jesus, guys, like you got to do something different. So I'm glad they went to that because it will wait it out quicker.
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on that, what you thought. I liked it. I think when you're shooting 3 arrows and you're going closest to center or inside out, like to me, there's skill. It's fair. I mean, obviously the chance to hit inside out is really difficult, but it is doable. Mm-hmm. In the Lancaster style, where in the qualification, like they went to a single arrow shoot off, and like you and I do a single arrow shoot off. Does the best archer win every time?
No,
probably not.
No, there's some luck involved with that.
Yeah,
right. But I do like the idea of going that route, and I like the idea of having smaller arrows. And it kind of surprised me because Matthias looked like he didn't know where his sight was supposed to be set with them. Right, like he was trying to sight it in while he was shooting them.
Yeah.
And I would think that if that was your plan, you should already have marks on your sight or know the reference
exactly,
Yeah, where you got to turn this to hit in the middle of the target. So I was surprised about that. But he was also the only guy who did that. Mm-hmm. Like everybody else just stayed with their arrows.
Yeah.
So, because there's something to be said about shooting a large diameter arrow. Most of them are shooting blades, right? Mm-hmm. With a wider blade and then switch to a little arrow with a wider blade. You get contact. It's not going to shoot as good. Mm-hmm. Not typically, I wouldn't think. And then you don't want to shoot with 27s with a tiny little skinny blade because your arrow keeps falling off the rest no matter how clean you drop back. So, but yeah, either way, like that was one of the most impressive feats I've seen somebody do. Like how consistently he was just like, even when he wasn't inside out, it was barely not inside out. Like, Jesus, this kid's just so good, which he's an adult now.
Yes.
No longer a kid. And the number of...
But he's not drinking beer yet either.
Yeah, no, he's not. The number of people that said, we need to get that kid a girlfriend to distract him or something, which I do not know if he has a girlfriend or not, but that's just the funny part of that because there's just nothing seems to faze him.
Yeah. So really fun to watch. I was able to watch it because I was with Joel and Neubauer, and he did the subscription thing. So it was, again, kind of shoved behind a paywall.
Yep.
Which is just so confusing to me. Like, I don't know how much money they're actually generating off of it. But man, you would think if it's like, hey, we need to generate some money on this broadcast, there would be a sponsor willing to be like, hey, I'll stake that dollar value. Publish it live and run our ad,
Right.
It seems to me like there's a better solution than putting it behind a paywall.
How it's not live on YouTube, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's pretty stupid.
And the paywall's so weird, like, trying to generate a monthly subscription for Archery World, I think it is, or whatever, like, the amount of people, when you think about the amount of people willing to spend $10 a month for content, right?
Right.
Like, you're competing with Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, like their content is top tier. You're competing with a lot of stuff where if you're putting content behind a paywall, like they're really working hard to make premium content. I just don't think it's there for that, you know? And it just seems like there's a better solution to give it out to people and then to get that stuff out so it helps grow archery. Like you want as many people to see that as possible, you know?
Gotcha. No, I agree. It's disappointing. And I'm not sure. I thought it was like Archery TV or something like that.
Yeah, Archery TV, Archery World. I mean, it
I
seems like...
I don't think it's Archery World. I think that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem kind of silly because that's like such a small percentage of people.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world wouldn't you put it out in a broadcast where everybody can see it,
Yeah.
where anybody can see it? Because I wouldn't think it would take that much of a sponsor to offset the cost.
I don't think so either. But, I mean, you know, people try things, you know, we're all learning stuff as we go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a really cool event, and I hope they get that sorted because I would like... It was confusing where to find to watch it.
I agree. Yeah.
You know?
It took us a while to find it and actually get logged into it to see it.
And then once you find it, like let's say you find it, you're like, okay, I can find it I can get logged in on my phone, but how do I get it on my TV?
Yeah.
You know, yes, you can AirPlay it through your phone, but how many people, you know, that just signed up?
We tried. We couldn't get
It's
it to pull.
freaking
So we
confusing,
eventually
you know?
just said, just set the phone. We'll start the phone.
Yeah.
And it was like, now we're watching the whole thing through like a little 6.5-inch screen
Right.
on a couch. I
On a
kept falling
couch.
asleep.
Yeah.
I was pretty wiped out. That was Sunday night after that trade show. I was pretty exhausted.
I just think there's a better way to do it, man. And yeah, archery's cool. You know, I was think about this a little bit. Like, archery's one of man's oldest sports, right? Or disciplines, or whatever you want to
That
call
used to be PSC's slogan.
Yeah.
Archery as old as man.
Facts, though. Like, one of man's oldest disciplines, sports,
for sure.
whatever you want to call it. Like,
It's probably the first really controlled projectile he ever had.
yeah.
Like, you could throw a rock, but it's hard to say that's like a controlled projectile.
Yeah.
I wonder if you had a slingshot before you had a bow. Be interesting to look
Good
that
question.
up.
Yeah,
But I
there's
mean,
a
it's got to be
historian
right
that
in there,
knows
right?
in the comments. So
Yeah.
I just think there's a way to make the sport there's a way for the sport of archery to get more eyeballs on it.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be, you know, like there just is.
Well, you need somebody from outside of the sport
Right.
to draw revenue to it.
Yeah, I mean, you think about golf, like the
Like what-
people that
like-
spend money on golf.
Great example. Those indoor shoot-offs.
Yeah.
That has to be exciting to watch
Oh.
for someone not into archery.
Right. Very compelling.
It's a very compelling story most of the time.
Very suspenseful.
Every once in a while, it's over quick, but in general, it's like there's a lot of strain, a lot of pressure, a lot of suspense.
Yeah.
Which is all things that people enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Right? You get that range of emotion while you're experiencing
Yeah.
something. You know, that's a huge plus, and I'm really surprised
Yeah.
that hasn't gotten some
I mean,
outside influence
you think
yet.
about the amount of athletes that might call them athletes. Are archers athletes?
Yeah, yeah, sure. There
I always struggle. Are golfers athletes? I wonder
depends on
about
what kind
that
of golf you're
sometimes.
playing.
Yeah.
There's several golf guys that are legit
Yeah.
athletes.
But John Daly, an athlete?
John Daly's my kind of athlete. The guy's a stud. I love that guy. He's just awesome.
But the amount of people like
Talk
that-
about the I don't give a fuck kind of guy. That's my guy.
the amount of people that make a full-time wage doing archery. Small amount of people, you know what I mean?
Very small.
There has to be a way to grow that number. And that doesn't mean necessarily to just for that to be like
there's-
the goal. But if there's more people that are full-time athletes, there's more eyeballs on it. And I just think eyeballs on archery is a good thing. You know?
Yeah, in the entire scheme of things, like people that is their full-time job and they don't have another job,
Yes.
it's got to be less than triple digits or right at triple digits.
Yeah.
That's insane when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if there's 100 people that make their full-time living off of archery,
I'd be surprised if there was 100.
that's like there's more people in one professional football team between all the players and all the people involved in it that make their living off of football on one team.
Yeah.
Like the odds of making it, like it might be the worst odds of anything to be a professional XYZ. Now maybe I'm off on that number. I mean, but in general, like almost everybody in this trade that's doing it for a living has an archery shop or works for a brand or something along those lines to help
Or a
stimulate.
TV show.
Or a TV show. But
Yeah.
that could quantify as an actual professional archer because you're filming, you're hunting, and producing
Right.
it. Like
Yeah.
like as much as I don't know if Dan would take the title of it, he's a professional archer
Right.
because he does not have another job.
Yeah.
Like that is his job.
Yeah.
Like you have a job, I have a job, I have 7 jobs, right? So there's not a lot of people that can take that title.
Yeah.
There's really not. Like Levi can, right? Mm-hmm. Even though he's got a TV show, he's got YouTube, he's got professional archery, right? But I bet you it's probably 100.
Yeah.
Because almost everybody's working for a brand, like because there's not like a lot of money to make in it.
Yeah.
Right. So they end up getting hired on as, well, you're going to be our sales manager for this and go shoot and be a professional, right? Like my elite rep in Nashville. He's like, oh, I can't come to your grand opening. Sorry, I'm shooting or something like that, because he's a professional archer that also happens to be a rep. So I think that happens a lot. And I don't think you can put that in the same boat. They have another revenue stream to make it people that's their only revenue stream.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like ASA. Like ASA is definitely fun, 3D, and the shoot-offs are fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But still, you think about like archery and what people are capable of now.
Yeah.
Why is there not a 140-yard shot through the trees?
You're not wrong.
Like people are capable of really cool shit now.
That's one I'd probably go try to compete at.
Right.
Because I'm good at the long distance crap. Like I really am.
Yeah.
I think I could probably hold my own there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we maybe get the brain trust going with Joe Rogan, because he loves archery. And we say, what does archery look like if it was really cool to watch on TV, Because there's a way to do it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I
don't know if he'd want to do it at all. I think he's probably busy enough, man.
Yeah.
But, I know a long time ago, Easton was who tried it. They tried like the Great Outdoor Games or something like that.
Wayne competed there. There's old footage of that.
Yeah, there's old footage of Wayne in that. Yeah, like, and that's wild. Like they tried, and I think I think their timing was off.
Yeah, no,
like, I think they were too early.
There,
like I think if they redid that now, it would probably take off.
Yeah.
One of these days, something's going to explode in it. Mm-hmm. That you're just going to get a lot of exposure all of a sudden. Especially if we could take
the power of the internet.
Yeah, well,
viral videos.
But if the internet wasn't able to suppress things, like I think you'd see so many more shooting sports in a lot higher clip. Like they'd be so much more mainstream. Because there's a lot of fun and entertaining, exciting things that occur there, but so many of them get suppressed a bit. So it's hard for them to grow.
Yeah.
Right? Especially the rifle stuff. Like there's some really cool rifle shooting stuff that isn't hunting at all. It's all just shooting. And that stuff gets suppressed.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's entertaining as heck. I've gone to 3 or 4 tournaments like that and just range officered.
Yeah.
Because it's cool to watch and you get to be somewhat of a part of it. I've never competed in one, but I've gone and watched it and helped.
Yeah, I just heard one get explained the other day, like what they're actually doing, like finding targets and making shots in a small amount of time. Like that actually sounds really fun to watch.
Oh, dude, it's cool. Like if you have a free weekend, like ask Doug, if you got a free weekend and he's got a tournament going on, every shooting station has a guy with glass calling whether or not they hit the target or not. That's the funnest way to experience it because you're helping, right? But you get to watch guys work through a stage and how fast they do it. And some of the guys, like, how crazy good they are. Like crazy, crazy good they are.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting time of year around here. Like we're kind of in that little bit of slack time between really getting to like shoot outdoor events and spring hunting.
I don't know what slack time you're talking about. I'm running my ass off.
Well, you're working for sure. And it's my peak time of year for my business too. But like we haven't shot a 3D event yet, right? Have you?
No, just the unmarked thing with you.
Right. We haven't
and then the lefty one with James and Brianna.
We haven't hunted anything. But I mean technically you have, but that was like, that's really in last year's hunting season, kind of.
Technically, I guess, yeah.
But like our hunting season starts here middle of April, so we're kind of in that little bit of slack time where a lot of cool shit's happening soon.
Yeah, it's coming up. I've got one bear hunt set up already.
Yeah. Same.
I'd do another if I could squeeze it in.
Yeah.
So, but possibly a third. But my May's so effed.
Yeah. Same.
There's I threw that bear hunt in May. So I think I have 1 week where I'm here, where I'm actually here on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like it might be June before I even get to my property.
Yeah.
Which saddens me. Because I really need a lot of rock on that road, and I need to get Kez up there to put stuff out with his dump truck because it's going to be a little bit of a mess if we don't get some rock on it.
Yeah.
All the work he did in last fall, right before it snowed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on that note, we're going to sign off today. And I wanted to say we'll have some exciting stuff to report on soon because things will be moving and shaking as we move into, archery season and hunting seasons and turkey whacking seasons and bear hunting seasons. And yeah, lots of cool stuff coming soon.
Yeah, some of the southern boys are convinced they're going to make me excited about turkey hunting. I don't know if it's possible.
Oh yeah, it's possible. Have you? Okay, let me ask you this before we move on. Okay. Have you went out into the woods, and found a turkey, called it in on your own guard?
Long time ago, sure.
Then that wasn't like that exciting for you?
I think the payoff is kind of the issue.
Did you know
this stupid tiny little bird, instead of this big bulging 800
Did
pound
you go
elk.
to a spot like you didn't know there were birds there, or did you know there were birds there at the time?
No, I didn't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you went out,
hunted with my
located
dad.
them, called them in.
Yeah, I hunted them with my dad too when I was younger.
Yeah.
When it was a newer thing in Washington.
Yeah.
And Idaho. But yeah, I experienced all that. And
yeah.
I just it seems like a lot of work for a little payoff.
The meat of it is.
Well, I hunt for meat.
Right.
So that's part of,
Similar, same.
I guess I'd be kind of hypocritical in that scenario since I went coos deer hunting and it was like very small animals. So, but there's just something different about it. It might grab a hold of me one of these days. You don't know. Those boys down there are passionate about it.
They do.
And I don't want to, bash on it by any means. So
it is the elk hunting of the South and the Midwest,
That's what I've been told. It's like, it's just like elk hunting. I'm like,
I dig it,
Okay.
For me, I think a lot of it's getting out in the spring. Love it, Like last year, I only did one day of turkey hunting, but Michael and I were within 10 yards of a couple moose.
Right.
We went out, we hiked a hillside, we called in a bird, we saw a moose, we were out in the spring. You're watching the mountains come to life. Like you can make turkey hunting around here as adventurous as you want to.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people think about turkey hunting in a field or on a farm or whatever. Around here, I mean, literally you could do it at a couple thousand feet in the mountains on a sheer hillside. So it can be as an adventurous as an experience as you want.
Gotcha.
And
well, maybe I'll give it a little more time.
I'd
rather shoot a bear though.
I always look at it like this too, from a filming perspective. If you want the best first hunt to film, turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You have a story, you have a bird, you have, many times if you fuck it up, you have another opportunity, right? You can go find another turkey.
Gotcha.
And those options aren't always available with a big old whitetail or.
Fair enough.
You got a javelina mounting another javelina, how to roll the focus, that kind of thing.
Learning that. Yeah. No, it'd be good practice. I just, God, I don't have time, man.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna dedicate, 2 to 7 days to something, I'm gonna go shoot a bigger animal.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'd rather go shoot a bear.
Yeah.
And I just turned down a guy in Canada too the other day because I was like, it's just too full. But maybe next year.
Yeah.
It was all spot and stock, but a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we're out.
Out like a trout.
Subscribe. It really does help. Share it with a friend. That stuff really does help.
How about a review? I don't know if anybody's given us any reviews lately.
Yeah,
we could definitely use a review. Really appreciate those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Oh, my ass. Oh, God. Oh, God.